Nations were talking about their revolution. So, Kwame Nkrumah is the only person who spoke about continental revolution. So, right? So, America is so. You were North America, then. So, but the American Revolution, a United States, one pair.
Captain Smart.
The other countries are belonging to the continent America, no revolution. No.
He is smart. He is unique.
Europe is a huge space, even though Africa is 3 times bigger than the entire Europe space. But in your German Revolution, the French Revolution, Italians in your revolution. So now Obia adrenaline thinking about yen. Eti German for your revolution it stayed there. French for your revolution it stayed there. But do Africa and Nkrumah was talking about a continental revolution. So in his book, in this book,
he is smart.
Conscientism, this book, I see how Nobel said, philosophy and ideology for the decolonization and development with particular reference to the African Revolution.
We want young Africans. We want young Africans to stay in Africa. Today, you don't.
Young and vibrant Africans chair any of the continent. Africa. Wohden etimi tumbrika kitikiti eti adwuma se enim adwuma yo echen countries aka wo wiase mu hanyina.
Africa is rich and not poor.
Number 2, Africa ewo asase bidie papa aye didua aduane echen oman bia
Ascending.
So, enti Wagana hakra no, even though galamsey koso. So, saying so still no. We sit down one kayan futuro baso na nwura efu odan na pempem.
Captain Smart, the king of morning shows.
Se wutu kwan kwa abrochira, wonta hu flower pot won krofo fie. Enipa mako because from asase no ututu that you do flower pot mu a we do asimu ebe he
apple and tuna
but yen ya ha de yet we grab the flower ekosi bedroom awia ni ho
Gwen
na fifiri ti ya wa asase enu echi no ye were philosophers, and let me read this. Me twa portion bi a me ma producer e de beto so bada me nuru ho me duru ho ma alert no tie.
I don't know.
Say e ka so be a philosopher e kire say ma afasi de okuta master's degree.
Ojai.
Ye ni bi.
I don't know.
Say obi o ye philosopher de e kire say wa ko suku edu e kire. It is obi ka kire o say Kwame Nkrumah time ni mu e na obi be ye scholar. Be a philosopher. Any idea? It's a lie.
Ojai.
Kwame Nkrumah. Any the contemporaries, you woman in the 19th, to be a 19th century. It's a Kwame Nkrumah Nankasa. And we are seeing chief concern in JB Dankwa. Kai! Our 19th century. Buzia. 19th century. All of them in the 19th century. It can never ever be Said nobody ever Ghana ha in the 18th century. No, yes, scholar, no, yes, philosopher. It is in the 19th century. You will say, be a sunadia. Yenti, who wants to say the first ever scholar or a Fantini. Make page 18 of this book, Conscientism. And let me sit here and tell you, my name is Obejedi. I saw Obejedi. My name is Obejedi. William Amo. What's in the dinner? Anthony William Amo. What's in the dinner? Oh, sir. Me want school certificate.
Okay.
More copies.
Okay.
Peniche and menana.
Peniche on nana.
There be book certificate. Nanka say peniche. Menana kwa kubi chamne nana. Let me read. How Nkrumah described Anthony William Amo. Yendruha. Page 18 of Conscientism. The 18th century African philosopher from Ghana. Kaimam, Ebiana Krofaka Sebiama Boom Trinameka. Oh, free her. Udia Kai. Kai.
When say the 18th century African philosopher from Ghana, Anthony William Amo, who taught.
It is Obi Kacho say in the 19th century. Any Ebenya philosophers or Ghana. Is it true?
It's not true.
Okay.
I said, who taught in the German universities of How?
Hold on. Sagan ni no chra de wo hin.
How?
E wo Krubenzo.
German.
Okay.
Now, Jenner and Wittenberg pointed out in his De Humanae Mentis Apatheia.
De Humanae Mentis.
Apatheia. That idealism was enmeshed in contradictions. The mind, he said, was conceived by idealism as a pure, active, unextended substance.
Okay, so Yanti wants to say that first person was as or call university and now being power the whole world. Or strong krata any articles. Idealism. When no a Ghanaian.
Who is seen of a fraud for that time?
That time, near who JB Dankwa. Near who Buzia. Not Kwame Nkrumah na kra near who. This man Esther teacher there in German universities in the 18th century. Now you do 19th century. They have do 21st century. It let nobody deceive you. Memo be and that say Papa bin and now biama ewo Ghana ha che obia. It is not true. Afasiko.
Ideas, the alleged constituents of physical objects, were held to be only in the mind and to be incapable of existence outside it. Our most question here was how the ideas, largely those of physical objects, many of which were ideas of extension, could subsist in the mind. Since physical objects were actually extended, if they were really ideas, some ideas must be actually extended. And if all ideas must be in mind, it became hard to resist the conclusion that the mind itself was extended in order to be a spatial receptacle for its extended ideas.
Bookwe, Kwame Nkrumah na true. That time no
brofo. Hey.
Eti producer Fatoso. Na tubu ko ba bia maye asterisk bi wo ho no. Also the idealism.
Idealism suffers from what I might call the God complex. It is what Marx called intoxicated speculation.
This is what this is what they are suffering from. Intoxicated speculation.
It is what may be called the ecstasy of intellectualism. The concept of an object, let alone the concept of the same object, cannot be properly formulated in idealism. Having once dismantled the world, idealists are unable to put it together again. And Berkeley has to say that his apple is only a simultaneity of sweetness, roundness, smoothness, etc. It is as if one could not have soup anymore, but only its ingredients.
Can hold him.
Or say it is as if one could not have soup anymore, but only its ingredients.
Now, this is what is happening to the current minority. But ingredients are the so how would you be able to say, Ubeyi, Jenny, Meko, Nianchine, every quam, now was separated. Where a chemical reaction, Afra, won't mean your way, and your physical reaction. So what I say, we are chemistry crown.
That's the science of workers.
A chemical reaction. And the Bayer intellectual Kakranta Fancheme. Sign repeat the distinction.
See the distinction between reality and appearance lips.
The distinction. So Sonya a war adia a ye pepe na wo hod ne etiase won kwa a obi agi tuma ye nim no eye soronko chen ade bia wo wonam kwa ma otika ma woni wani aboso no watwam wim ene ne nje pe. There's a huge distinction between reality and appearance. Eti metia sese e bishefugu pa menyetani. I can say Mauli va. The fact that I said va, it appears to you that Captain Smart can speak ewe, but I am not an ewe. Yet to come about so big picture, no occasional big car, no company. In Quafoco weddings, or you uncle for car, F. Nana Kwame be what remember there, be say. Cars I had a call, and Quafoco change now who you pictures. Now, one day pictures, no, and you send on boyfriends, no, my girlfriends. Can't no judge no F. Obia own him, not to the bay and say, can't you what it is just an appearance. The reality is that Kanu Nura. In Ghana, there are certain people in this country, they are just appearing to disappear. But the reality is that the real owners of this country are still around. These politicians are just appearing to disappear. They will come and go. As we speak, where is Sidney Osaji for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah? Kwame Nkrumah Nampono, Sabi Bruce, Sabi Nyado. Kwame Wahin. He appeared to disappear. Where is Muzia? Yay, away. Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlins, let the blood flow. Where is he? Rawlins, where he or call?
He is smart. He is unique.
Well, whoa, we are the day. We should shana and ye. Say, I mean, okay, Misata, our he appeared. O inanim opie. I mean, na ye who
Smart.
But away, Metia says, my peer, woman, that could be ba, I will disappear for good. So, we hear me a woman, but say, we will come back the Abisrania and your family country, we are still a family Ghana. But me body and Pesabia Ibini, Pesabia the richest ever. On family co voter regi, me baby man. Nyankopon nya me yewe no nya me the richest ewe pese me nya sika me san baby ma e che tobu afede bet 3 million times tobu afede me nya sika pa ai beni me nya sika pa I will disappear. Message Kufo Manu Nkashi, he will disappear one day. So automatically he will disappear.
Captain Smart.
Mahama will disappear.
Morning show.
Jenano Pokwajiman will disappear. Nanado will disappear. We will all one day disappear because we just appeared
today.
But there's a reality that in your disappearance, it does not mean that the reality of the land in which you come from must not be born.
He is smart. He is unique. He is the best.
Eti ehu ayase oman na yetimu no enipa bi adwen ye won se won hu hia chen oman no eye no kre o he ma me sounding real Yewra Asante Hene miro ada meburu mabodi ma mpejam mu ma che buru Ghana Hene wada mamache we are dying Asante Hene will one day disappear obewu ye dying dakro Yewra obewu anamebwa one day Yewra beko. But do you know the reality? The reality is that nimre so tiasia wa apia no we your hene na se wudi nsamfo obetu. That is the reality. The reality is that he's the only Asante Hene Obaya or the education fund buy. That's the reality.
Captain Smart.
The reality is that or no never Asante Hene or raise Bitcoin for Ashanti region. Jose. Huh? Ono penny Asante Hene Obaya. No question your name say wama hindia ya kono. Ama obi asua. Say so two for French man opegu pen na nkrofo yebi.
The king of morning shows.
Nkrofo yebi. Ma. That's the reality. The reality is that ononi Asante Hene waba president bi a waba krom ha bia se ne ho kire na opesika wa manone a wanko hu Asante Hene wonya besia danado na to nanum tuo mahama to nanum tuo kufo to nanum tuo mesi bi owu okwemba do kan yansa owu Rollins na so kan. There's a video to that. All of them said it. So Asante Hene, he has appeared, but he will one day disappear. But the reality is Anyama Papa. Why am I main ejato? Sorry, Asante Hene. But any people will keep coaster. Education fund the politank ko homo mu yenso no mo. He's an Asante Hene. He could have decided that me Asante Hene, me Asante region kwa, but on the politics they never be ko voter region. Akoya Asante Hene opa obaye Asante region kwa, but no. Ghana president won't take over World Bank. No mo bobo na ma. No we French Martin aeroplane. No akwa can be ama Ghana. Na Ghana nyeska. Yeah, the best other politicians na US Canada.
Captain Smart, the king of morning shows.
Reality is different from appearance. There's a huge distinction between reality and the appearance. Hey, wait to be sure bapa what dress fine. Bet me share bema pa wa dress fine. Manu run ho ne ho nka me do nyame.
Enu
ba kana sia bonten. Wo dem ho be deja.
I don't take madness.
Wo dem ho be deja.
Gwen.
E to da na ya na nye nka no ye hia strength no. Tut we kita wo hwene. No wa kua. Wa pepo wa no din. We bie mpoma. No compare freshener. No jegum ha. Ada na stress ah. Na bibia fine. So sometimes you are not supposed to look at the armpit. You must continuously hold the hand. Eti Israel for them rather Moses nsa wasoro no. Wo kontokwa Moses nsa ne ba foma. Na padis no edi nkuguo. Eti de akoba yin answer Bible say esese nipa bi koso Moses nsam ekosoro. If those people had looked at Moses' armpit, akwakwarabu to him, ewurade, eho oshimuruta.
Otuom kankan.
But hey, GH. As a yeso na ye planning sama ye be kan sound obemu. Huh? What is the method? So in a nutshell, reality is different from appearance.